Hello, today we are talking about creating a marketing plan for coaches. This plan is great for life coaches, business coaches, health coaches, or spiritual life coaches. Any type of coaching that you do out in the world, this 7-part plan may be the plan that you need to be able to be more effective in your marketing. Hi, this is Ajit Navlakha and you're watching this on EverCoach, where we are discussing how to create a marketing plan that works in the coming years to create a successful coaching empire for yourself. So let's get this party started. The first part of your marketing plan is, what are you coaching on? One of the key things that we often miss as coaches is we want to start coaching our clients and we very often forget to clearly identify what is it that we even want to coach on. When you're trying to draw a net that is too wide, your marketing plan falls apart on itself. You don't have the resources, the energy to tap into every market when you are creating a coaching business, or even when you're running a very successful coaching business. If you have a successful coaching business, you may realize already that you have a very clearly identified market, a very clearly identified product that you offer to that market or service that you offer to that market, and hence your marketing plan is working. But if that is not clearly identified, that may be the marketing gap that you need to fill first. What is it that you really want to coach on? What is it that you would really like to drive result on? If you don't know yet as to what is the focal area of your coaching practice, here are 3 questions that will help you identify the exact area that you may want to start your coaching practice in, or even grow your coaching practice in. The first question that you want to answer is, what do you love to learn? The reason why this is such an important question in a profession like coaching is because coaching is an ever-evolving field. Your capacity to be able to coach, transform somebody's life, impact somebody's life is ever-evolving, which is why you need to stay curious in the field that you will be coaching in. You need to stay curious and interested in the field that you will be creating an impact on your clients' lives, which is why it's important that you love learning more about that idea, about that philosophy, about that area of work. If you lose your curiosity, if you lose your learning, you may find yourself uninterested in continuing your work in that field. That could mean that you would lose focus and attention, and all the work, the marketing work or the performance work that you might have done in the field would start to fizzle out in time because there is no new progress that is being made from your side. So pick a field that you're curious in, pick a field that you already love to learn about. The second question you want to answer is, what is it that you love to teach? Very often, even before you go out and coach somebody, you have to answer the question, will I be interested in talking about it? A lot of your marketing is going to revolve around you demonstrating your understanding of the topic, you sharing stories or teaching material around that topic. It will not be you actually having a conversation, because that happens only when the client is enrolled. Before that, when you're posting on social media to create engagement, when you are writing your books or writing your white papers to create engagement between you and your potential clients, a lot of times you will be wearing your teacher's hat. You will be communicating ideas that has very little interaction that is possible because it is done in a digital format. And hence, you must love to teach that material. And that brings me to the final question. What is it that you love to coach on? Well, this is the most obvious question, right? We're building a coaching business, we're building a marketing plan for coaching. Why wouldn't you always start with the answer of, what do you love to coach on? But very often I found coaches who simply take what are they good at and confuse it with what they love to do. Here's an example to expand on an idea. I personally am very good at marketing. I know how to market a lot of stuff. It's because I've done that in my past life and I have gotten really good, especially when it comes to a particular type of product, which is great. That is something that I'm great at. And I should naturally, theoretically, become a coach in marketing. But what I've found is what I love to talk about is building businesses, building teams, building personalities, really building character in individuals. That is what I get excited about. That is what I want to learn about day in and day out. That's what I would read books about, buy programs on, attend seminars and conversations, get a coach to work with me on that. So my interest, my love lies a lot more about building human capability and business capability. Whereas my expertise that I could naturally lean on is marketing. That is why it's important to understand what you're good at and what you love to coach on. So ask yourself, what would you love to coach on? What would you love to learn? What would you love to teach? Because when you find congruence in what you would love to learn, what you love to teach, and what you would love to coach on, you found something that may become your central message, your central piece of answering the question, what are you coaching on? The second part of your marketing plan is, who do you coach? It's very important to really know the distinction between serving everybody and serving a few. Very often, because we are so passionate about life, so passionate about business, we tend to say everybody has the potential to be our clients. While that may be true, it is really hard to talk to everybody at the same time, which is why it's extremely important for you to identify who is it that you want to help. Who is it that you want to help for now? When you want to impact the world, it may seem difficult to start impacting with just one person. But that is the first step to start creating change. You start working with one person, then another person, then another person. Identify what that person's going to look like, feel like, sound like. What is the area of work that they focus on? What is the category that they would fit in? What is the kind of events that they would go to? The reason why you want to answer these questions is because it helps you identify who is it that you're really serving, or who are you at least getting started with, or who is the market that you're at least currently focusing on. When I started my coaching business, I didn't simply say, I want to help businesses. I didn't simply say, any business come to me, I'll help. I found the category that was most exciting to me, the category that I had experience in, the category that I knew creates the kind of impact that I want to have in the world. And hence, it was exciting for me to work with them. That category is the category I got started with. I found one client, almost like a gateway. I got one client, got them really good results. And then from that client, I got the next client, and then the next client, and then the next client. And my impact has ever been increasing. So ask yourself, who's that gateway client? Who's that person? Who's that company that you can start working with today? So that's the second part of your marketing plan. Who is it that you're coaching? The third part is, what are they hoping to find a solution to? What are your potential clients hoping to find a solution to? It's important for you to know that our clients are not so much interested in us as a coach. What they're really interested in is to be able to get that outcome that our presence promises. They don't want to come sit with us and just chat for a few hours. They are hoping that that chat will create that outcome that they really hope, that they really want. So ask yourself the question, what is it that my client really wants? And don't just give a surface answer. I know most of the companies that are working with me want great revenues. That's the hope everybody has. But there are certain hopes that are hidden within that hope. These companies hope to have better teams. They hope to work less hours. They hope to be able to have a bigger impact. They hope that their work is actually shining in the correct light. They hope they're remembered in a particular way. They hope that their work is reaching the right person at the right cost. They hope for many other things than just the top line revenue of the company. And that is what you need to understand. What is their hope? What is the hope that they have in life, the wish that they desire that you can fulfill? And identify that hope beyond just the surface hope that they would tell you in the first go. Think about the details of that hope. What are the other hopes and wishes that the person may have? And write them down in your marketing plan. Now you have 3 parts to your marketing plan. Let's get to the fourth part. The fourth part is, how is it that your client is going to find information and insight from you consistently? This question has many parts. The first is, how are they finding you? How are they finding information and insight? What is it that you can do to be able to provide this information and insight? Will it be a video? Will it be a post? Will it be a book? What is it that you can do to provide information and insight? And the second part is consistently. You know, one of the biggest mistakes one could make in their coaching business is to start doing something and stop doing it just because it didn't work after a few days or a few weeks. Very often, businesses are built over an extended period of time. If you want to coach people, have a massive impact in the world, then you are signing up for something that may be a decade, 2 decade, 3 decade long career. If that is the longevity of career that you're seeking, don't lose on strategies. Don't give up on strategies just because they didn't work for a few days or even a few months. Consistency is the name of the game. I want to give an example of a phenomenal coach called Tony Robbins. If you look at Tony Robbins' book that was released, I want to say about 30 years ago, Awaken the Giant Within, and attend one of his seminars, you will see that his message has been fairly consistent. Of course, he's upgraded his skill and his ability to teach and perform and really deliver outcomes, and kudos for that. But his consistency is absolutely inspiring. He's been at this work for years after years after years. Tony's story is amazing, and it gives us a great lesson in consistency. Somebody who has been at it and is today on top of his game because of the consistent work that he's been doing for years at end. Ask yourself not only the question of what is it that I can do to spread information and insight, but also how can I do it consistently? How can I find ways to communicate with my audience consistently without giving up hope, by pursuing consistently in the direction that you want your impact to be in? So once you've identified how you're going to communicate information and insight to your audience consistently, ask yourself the question on how are you going to demonstrate your capabilities. You see, how you communicate your message is different than how you demonstrate your capability. How you communicate your message consistently is a question more of the medium of communication. For example, right now, I'm communicating my message to you that hopefully has information and insight for you through the channel of video, through a platform called YouTube. And the next question is, how are you actually creating insight and information? Not the medium, but the actual technique. What is it that you do that will have an impact in your client's life? What is it that you are creating as content and information, as something that drives insight that would actually create a change in somebody's life? Now, this video is presented on YouTube, but the construction of this video is very much directed towards creating insight for you. You are somebody who is interested in coaching. You are somebody who is considering, how do I market my coaching practice better? Which is why the suggestion of the video itself is attracting you contextually to come into this video to get real tools. By the end of this video, you will have a 7-part marketing plan that can create results for you. This is me driving information and insight through my teaching methodology. You need to know how you're going to show up every single week, every single day in your client's life and create insight, show information. What's that methodology? What's that technique? What's that way of you creating that impact? Which brings me to the 6th part of this marketing plan. The 6th part of this marketing plan is, what is your complete offer? What is the total package that you're offering to your clients that would absolutely be amazing for them, will create results for them, and you probably are charging a small fee for it? Something that gets your clients excited and interested and gets them results. When we are starting our coaching businesses, there needs to be camaraderie, there needs to be trust, there needs to be some love that is between us as client and coach. And all of that is established when you give value, charge a significantly less amount to the context of value that you're providing. This is why I've written books. They cost you only $4 or $5, maybe $10 for you to buy one of my books. And the value that you get out of it is probably worth $100, $200, even $500. So the outcomes of your investment to the return that you have on that investment is significantly high. If you take one of my programs, which would cost you $200, $300, you would get outcomes that are worth $3,000, $5,000. The value I'm generating for a really small fee is designed to create camaraderie, love, and trust between us so we can continue our work together for years at end. But you got to know, what's your complete offer? How is it that somebody's starting to interact with you and get an outcome from you? And what is it that they will do after that or could do after that? And what is it that they could do after that to continue to explore more and more ideas with you, more and more work with you, more and more strategies with you? That's what you're seeking. So find what that offer looks like. What does that matrix looks like? And that brings me to the final part of the plan. I'm just going to call this part maintenance. This part is for you to find how to collect payments, how to keep a client, how to create an experience for your client that is extraordinary, that goes above and beyond what you might have promised. How is it that you are going to request your client for a testimonial or a story? How is it that you are going to ask your client if they will be open to refer you to other people and be able to continue to make that impact out in the world? The reason why I'm bucketing all of that is because that is an increased layer of complexity that you may not be ready for right now as you're watching this video. You may not need to worry about all of those things until you've gotten your first few clients. Think about it as post-sale, post-result maintenance and systems that you will need in your marketing so you can constantly expand into a greater marketing version of yourself and the services that you offer. So this is a 7-part marketing plan that you can use right away in your coaching business. While you're at it, I want to invite you to something that we are doing that I think you will find very exciting. In EverCoach, we have created something that really helps new coaches and seasoned coaches to constantly upgrade their skills. Remember, in the first part of the video, I said that if you don't constantly learn, and if you're not curious about the learning of the dimension of this work, it will become harder to market yourself. And that is essentially the first part of the marketing plan. Well, we have solved the problem of perpetual learning. We've created something that is called Coaching Mastery. Coaching Mastery is designed around the idea that you can learn from other coaches if you watch them do what they do. So what we've done is we've invited other coaches that are wildly successful in their fields, that are creating great impact already in the world, that have decades of experience inside this membership to firstly sit down with me and really explain to me how they're able to create that impact, and then actually demonstrate that impact in somebody else's life. We have found the best trainers, the best coaches, and put them inside the same platform, which you can try for absolutely free. So if you're somebody who loves learning, who wants to continue to grow, who wants to become a better coach every single day, I invite you to go ahead and check out Coaching Mastery below this video. Thank you so much for giving Coaching Mastery a chance. Thank you so much for leaving me a comment and liking this video and subscribing to this channel. Thank you so much for watching this video today. This is Ajit Nawalkar, and you're watching this on EverCoach.